When the earth shook. Now, well, welcome back, dear children, to this next part of learning capsule. What is happening over here is the girl who is reminiscing or going back to the past and talking about the Bhuj earthquake that she had encountered with. It feels like in this chapter, people who have always been in any of the bad disaster or any of the problematic unfortunate events, it takes years and years to get rid of that mental trauma. Good memories can be faded away easily, but bad memories do not get faded easily. It leaves a scar on the heart, on the psychological behavior. This chapter talks a lot about how it is absolutely okay to talk about things that haunt and traumatize you. Now, some events are because of human problems like wars, whereas some of the events are indirectly caused by humans like natural disasters, floods, tsunami, hurricane, earthquake. We have no control over these disasters. What we can do is we can do our bit to protect the environment, and we can take our safety measures. A lot of life skills were taken for you, and we are still conducting, so that in case of unfortunate events like earthquake and other disasters, we all can be prepared about it. However, let us talk about this girl, Jasma. Jasma lived in the Kutch area of Gujarat. She was 11 years of age when there was an earthquake. The 2001 earthquake was very unfortunate, where hundreds of buildings were destroyed, a lot of people were stuck underneath, and it is also a possibility that some of the people never came out of that underneath massacre where they were dug into. It was really horrifying to see a lot of people dying, losing their house, losing their organs, like losing their legs, losing their brain. There were a lot of external as well as internal injury because the things from which a building is made, like iron bars, bricks, all those things break, and they fell onto those innocent human beings. Also, the things which are there in our house when there is an earthquake, it's the cupboard, it's the showcase, it's the bookshelf, all this thing also, fall down. So it is obvious that these things may also hurt the people who are trapped into the house. 6 people in her village died. Her grandfather was buried under the house. Her mother, Jasma's mother, she wept all night. She cried the entire night. It was hard to believe that how sudden things can go wrong. House of Mota Bapu, who was the sarpanch of their village, it wasn't much damage. He gave rice and wheat to everyone from his godown. For many days, the woman cooked and at the Mota Bapu's house and fed everyone. Like they fed the survivors who were the victims of the earthquake. If we are in a house where there's cold that is keeping us awake in the house, all the time they were afraid that there could be another earthquake. So, have you or anyone has faced any difficulty? No, we see these things in television. The only difficulty which we face is waterlogging, electricity problems during rainy season, and which all people come at such times. So the military force, doctors, social workers, social reformers, they come to the rescue. After several days, they saw that from the cities people kept pouring in. They came with food, there were medicines, there were clothes. Now, you all might not be knowing what happened in 2001 earthquake. Like, you won't be able to imagine how difficult it would have been without the mobile phones or without internet, using all these things. Internet was not a common phenomenon or common technology in 2001. No, people only relied in television news. And in 2001, very less people had television. It was not as common as people have nowadays. So of course it took some time to reach to the masses. However, like you can recollect during this 2015 or 16 Kerala floods, a lot of people were donating through UPI, Google Pays and other technology. People were doing online banking. They were transferring their donation to the various accounts given by the government. But however, like back in those days, it was not a possibility. So now technology has come up, so people can just start donating, being at home. Back in those days, it was not that easy. People had to travel, people had to send through, huge trucks, their things and belongings. Now, it is that easy, like if I'm transferring say 5,000 rupees to someone, say in Kerala at a safe place, and I'm saying that, okay, I'm giving you 5,000 rupees, you purchase these things and you just courier it. Or I can just do, book it on Amazon and give the address of the NGO which is in Kerala. So I can easily get it done. I don't have to talk to anyone or trust any person. I can just do it from Amazon, Flipkart and so many different applications are there already. So it was a difficult and challenging task just because there was no technology. But better late than never. People kept pouring in. They gave food, medicines, clothes. The clothes were very different. Why different? Because of course the people who are living in Kutch have a different style of clothes. People living in Maharashtra, people living in Sikkim, people living in North and people living in South, they wear different type of clothes. People from different groups from the city helped to put up the tent. Staying in a plastic tent in the cold winter months was difficult. It was a Herculean task. Some of these people were scientists. Now we have already discussed like why scientists came to understand why. Scientists came to understand that what was the reason for an earthquake in that place. Is it an earthquake prone area just like Japan is? What are the things that can be done to avoid it? How the houses could be changed, how could the designs be changed so that earthquake doesn't affect them anymore. So however, they took some suggestion from the scientists. Moreover, they applied their own brains and they made their own houses. But first they started to make their school. Why school? Because school is very, very important. You could see that there were people who were basically injured, who were using things to walk around. So yes, this also takes months to heal. The injuries caused due to earthquake or any other natural calamity take months and months to heal. First they built the village school. And later on they started working on their houses. So when they kept working on their houses, what happened was they decorated with the mirrors which you use in your decoration for craft and drawing. Apart from this, what are the differences that are in Jasma's house and our house? Our houses are basically pakka houses. We do apply a lot of things to make it leakage proof, waterproof. We ensure that we take warranty of the paint that we have applied. We use washable paint so that we can just wash it with soap and water in case a child has scribbled or there are certain accidents like certain accidents when we are spoiling the house without just by accident. So these are the things what we do in our house. We kind of make permanent house because we don't like to shift from one place to another. Now people from groups also made children in Jasma school practice what they should do in case of an earthquake. So what are the two important things that one should follow during an earthquake is, if possible, leave the house and go to an open ground. If you cannot go to the house, lie down under a strong thing or just hide under a strong table or a bench and hold it tightly. Okay, wait until the shaking stops. So these are the drills. Also, one tip: do not leave your pets alone during a natural calamity. So who helped? Now this was a TV report, and also there were newspapers given like how exactly was the entire massacre. So over here we also saw that the when earthquake struck Gujarat that morning, thousands were injured. Army jawans were called for help. 150 buildings had fallen. There were dozen as in a lot of sky, not exactly we can say skyscrapers, but multi-storied, like which had more than 2 floors. पुराने जमाने में 2 फ्लोर की बिल्डिंग होती थी, फिर वो more than 2 floors 4 floors की बिल्डिंग, because तभी 2001 में लिफ्ट की फैसिलिटी कम होती थी. देयर वर लिफ्ट्स, ऐसा नहीं, देयर वर बट लिटिल लेस, लाइक कुछ कुछ बिल्डिंग्स में ही होती थी. आजकल हर एक बिल्डिंग में लिफ्ट होने लगी है. इट्स लाइक इट हैज बिकम अ फैशन, बेसिक फैसिलिटी यू कैन से. सो 2001 में ये सारी चीजें नहीं होती थी. 250 bodies were removed. This was just less. A lot of thousands were still trapped. Okay, now they were trapped. A lot of them couldn't reach, their voices were not able to reach. So during such time, always have a whistle. Whistle is very important कि आप कितना चिल्लाओगे. You won't be able to shout much during such time. So a whistle is very important. The situation in Bhuj was worse. People were running in shock and panic. For this panic, I think I had taught you a balloon activity. That panic shouldn't, it is very difficult to follow, for sure. It's difficult for people like us, for adults as well. But बचपन से panic कम होगे तो आप जब हमारे एज के आ जाओगे तो it will be easier for you. Offers were coming, pouring from all the corners of country and abroad. Now whose help will be needed? Dog, because they can smell out where people are lying trapped. Apart from dog, doctors, government organization, NGOs, volunteers. Now this is an activity you are supposed to do it yourself, where we have seen people in our area helping one another. Why do people live in neighborhoods? Imagine if there are no houses, what do you think you would do? Like with whom you would be celebrating your birthday with, or where would you go if you need help? It would be lonely, it would be scarier at night. Yes, people do face a lot of difficulties when they lose people from the family. उनकी चीजें चली जाती है, उनके belongings चले जाते हैं, उनका घर पूरा ruin हो जाता है. So I don't want you to check in newspapers. You can search on the net and maybe you can write about how difficult it would have been for those people. Your own news report. Now this is an assignment I had given you. You have to prepare a video of maximum 3 minutes, or you can write a report in your notebook. Which disaster happened with date and time, what type of damage did it cause, and which people came forward to help. यहाँ पे आप ये लिख सकते हो कि अभी जो जून जुलाई में साइक्लोन आया था जिसकी वजह से कहीं एरियाज में 3 to 4 days लाइट नहीं था. सो आप लिख सकते हो लोगों को क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम हुआ बिकॉज ऑफ दीज थिंग्स. Do it yourself. This is something which you should be knowing. The fire station, nearby hospital, ambulance and police station, where is it, and the phone number. You can use Google search engine for the same, but एक आपके book में in your calendar, whenever you're going out, you should be having, or just in your mobile phone, you should be having these emergency contact numbers. Now difficult times. Now this is not an assignment, this is just that you have to do. Write a report with the help of following words. So ये words के साथ आप एक report लिखेंगे. So basically this is talking about floods. If there are floods, how do you think things will happen? How do you think things will exist if there are floods? So what we have learned from this chapter? We have learned the type of difficulties people face during floods. How do you think, what kind of school have the children come to after the